In this video, I'm going to show you how to spray a tri-coat and apply decals to this Harley tank. So I have already got this tank and I have primed and blocked it. Applied epoxy and then a primer surfacer, blocked that out, sanded it, got it ready for the booth, and then I've already applied my primer sealer. And now I'm going to show you how to apply the base coat, the tri-coat, and apply some decals and apply clear coat. With these PPS cups, what I'm doing is turning it upside down to spray all the air out. And what that'll do, that will help you be able to spray in any angle upside down or however you want to spray without it spitting or anything like that. So what I'm doing is I'm starting to put the first coat of base coat. And what I want to do is get all the hard to get areas first, because I don't want any weird overspray coming on, landing on the surface that's going to show the most. So I'm going to get underneath it. And this gas tank, it's a lot of different angles. You got inside there, it's just nothing's really flat. So, they're kind of tricky to paint. But I'm going around, getting the front, the back, underneath it. And then that way, whenever I go to spray it, I can put nice even coats on. So I'm going all the way around, and I do the same thing with a fender if I'm painting it off the vehicle. I'll get all the jams, the insides first, and then I'll put that last, the final coat on, I'll do last. Okay, so I've got that on. Now I can put nice even coats all the way around the tank. And you got to remember to keep that straight lines, because this tank's not the same width in the front as it is the rear. So that's kind of difficult to get used to. But if you follow the tank, you're going to have a lot more mills in the back than you would the front. So keep straight lines and imaginary straight lines. Like I've heard it, you just think like a robot. A robot would do the exact same thing every time. Now this is, like I said, I've already put the sealer on, primer sealer. This is the base coat, and it's waterborne. Use about a 75-80% overlap. And what that means is how much you overlap each additional coat. And I sped this up a little bit, but didn't want to skip through some of the steps. But waterborne takes a lot of air movement to dry. So I've got this dryer that I'm aiming at it. And notice I'm not pointing right directly straight in front of it, because that might try to trap water in there. We're trying to get that water to blow off, to evaporate. So I'm kind of coming at an angle, and I'm staying back. I'm not like using a hair dryer or anything like that where I'm real close to the surface. So I'm staying back a little bit, and once it dulls out, there's not really a flash time like solvents. It's once it gets dull, it's ready to apply the second coat. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm coming back with the second coat of base coat. I'm just going to put 2 coats on. It called for a white sealer, so I've got that. So 2 coats. This thing will be covered quite fine. Following the same technique, going around, getting all the edges underneath it, the front, the rear, and then I can do the outside of the tank, what you're going to see the most when you're on the motorcycle. And I'm spraying this tank for a friend. And he saw one at the Harley shop. He'd already had a Harley, but he had I think it was a dark green tank he had on there. But he saw this white. It's a pearl white. And he just fell in love with it and wanted to spray a tank this color. We looked the Harley coat up, and they was out of one of the toners. They didn't have it. So what he did, he just went through some pearls and ended up picking one out that he liked real well. I believe this one is for a Toyota. And it came out really nice. So I've got the 2 coats of base coat on, and now I'm starting with a pearl coat. So I'm going to put 2 coats of that on. And I'm going to follow that same technique, and this is where it's real important to get those nice even layers on the outside of the tank, because the solid colors ain't going to matter that much, but if this pearl lands weird or different, it might not be nice and even. So I'm putting that on, and again, you want to make sure that these are nice, even coats, because you don't want any stripes or mottling or anything like that. You don't want to put it on too wet, just about like a normal coat, but maybe a little bit faster, so that you make sure that it's on there nice and even. If you put it on too wet, it's going to mottle on you. And there is one extra step that you have to do with metallics, and tri-coats like pearls that you don't have to do with the solid, is you have to put a control coat, which we'll talk about here in just a little bit. So I'm drying it off once again. Every coat of waterborne you have to dry off, and as soon as it flashes, as soon as it kind of dulls, you can tell when it dries, you're ready to put the next coat. So yeah, this is sped up. That is not normal speed. Now I am putting on the final regular coat, and we'll talk about the control coat here in a minute. But putting the second one on, following the same technique, all the hard to get areas underneath it, the front and rear first, and then I can put those nice even passes on after that. So yeah, this was it was a really cool color out in the sun. I've got a quick video or quick photo of it after it's done. I didn't get a lot of pictures of it, but you'll see, and it's really kind of hard to tell some of the pearls in pictures how it pops when it's in the sun. But very cool color. He's very happy with it. So yeah, I'm putting that second coat on, nice and even, straight lines. You don't want to get it too heavy in one area or light in the other with your pearls, because it'll be a different color. If you put the more pearl you spray, it's going to continue to change color. So you want to make sure it's nice and even. Okay, now I'm going to do the control coat. I'll make sure the fan pattern is all the way open. I cut the pressure down, maybe not quite half, but down. There's recommendations from the gun manufacturers, and I'm using a Tekna base coat gun for this. And notice I'm also about 12 inches away and moving a lot faster. And I'm just putting a dust coat on here, just a real light coat, just to even out the metallic and or the pearl, so that's nice and even. And this is something you have to do with waterborne, or it will have a mottled look to it. And here's a trick, because it's kind of hard to tell if that was nice and even with all the lights on, but you turn the lights on, use a sun gun or even a flashlight, and you can really see the pearl to see if it is nice and even, or if it's mottled, or if it has stripes, and inspect it. If it does have stripes or mottling, you may want to put another control coat. If it looks good, you're ready to apply clear coat. So I let it flash off, air dried that. Now this clear coat is solvent, so you don't have to air dry it. And this particular clear coat is 2 coats back to back. Make sure it's that type of clear, because if it's not, you'll get in a lot of trouble if you don't have this type of clear and try to put 2 coats on at one time. But that's the way this clear coat is designed. So I'm spraying a coat on, and then I'll immediately follow with another coat. I'm going to follow the same technique, getting the ends, the front and rear, underneath it, the hard to get areas, and then I'm going to put nice even coats on the outside, and then we'll be ready to apply our decals here in a little bit. But yeah, I'm spraying that, and now I'm putting a coat nice and even, same technique. Did switch guns. I got a clear coat gun. This is a Wada Supernova that I use for clear coat, and putting that on. And I mentioned, be sure and read your technical data sheet. This is a PPG clear designed to put 2 coats on, one right after the other. If it's one that requires a flash time, let's say 10-15 minutes in between coats, you're going to get in a lot of trouble, and it may not dry properly on you. So this clear was designed like that. So I put the first coat on, going to follow that same pattern, underneath it, the hard to get areas, and then I will put a nice even coat on the outside surface. So you can kind of see some of the pearls in the video. It doesn't really do it justice. Like any pearls are going to show a lot more outside in person than in videos or photos. Just about got all these hard to get areas the second coat, and then I will allow it to dry. Okay, got that done. Now I am doing the final last coat of this clear coat, doing the nice even straight lines, and this is a 50% overlap. This is a solvent, so it's a 50% overlap. Got one side, and got this other side left, and then we'll allow it to dry. Now this certain clear, the technical data sheet says it can be dry and ready to sand in 30 minutes, but I'm going to let it dry overnight and then come back and put the decals on. So what I'm doing here is I did allow that to dry overnight, and now I'm coming back and I'm going to sand that with 1000 grit sandpaper. because I'm going to come back, I'm going to apply some decals to it, and then I'm going to re-clear it. I'll put several more coats of clear coat on top of that, and that way it will bury the decals and you won't fill them. So I kind of sped this part up because I'm just sanding, but I'm sand, like I said, I'm sanding with 1000 grit. You want to make sure everything is sanded, so I'll sand it with 1000 grit, and then I'll also come back with a gray scuff pad, because some of these areas are hard to get with sandpaper. Like you know, some of the hard to get areas, I'll go over all with a gray scuff pad as well. And then once that's done, I will be ready to apply the decals. Now whenever he saw this, he wanted to get the original decals, but when he'd ordered this tank, you know, it came just metal. I mean, I had to prime and block this thing a couple times. Kind of surprised me. I thought, I'm used to parts coming with E-coat and ready just to scuff and paint, but no, I had to prime and block this a couple times. But he could not order Harley will not sell you just the decals. They told him the only way he could get those original decals was to order the paint tank already painted with them on it. So what we did, we looked online and found something. He wanted that original look. You know, he didn't want nothing really custom. He wanted something that looked like the stock decals. So we found the closest we could online, and we got those decals, and we're going to apply those next. So we're going to get, you know, after you get it all good and scuffed, we'll do that. So there's a lot of ways to do things, and you know, this is just one way. You could airbrush, you could use stencils, but we are using vinyl decals. And what I'm doing is I'm getting everything measured up, lined up where I want them, and then we'll take them back off, because I don't have the backing off yet. First, I just want to make sure everything is where it should be, and that the other side is, you know, identical spot. So I'm kind of looking at it, seeing how it looks, and then we'll measure and do the exact same thing to the other side. But before I pull that off, once I get it where I want it, I'm going to make some reference points with tape, so when I take it off, I can just put it right back on there, and it will be exactly where it was. So you want to make sure this step is right, because once you pull the backing off of this decal, you know, it's hard to get off, or especially if you clear coat it and then realize you don't like something or something's wrong. You want to take the extra time to make sure everything is correct during this step. So just taking a look at it, seeing if it looks good, and then I actually get a tape measure out. I don't think I show all that in the video, but I'll get a tape measure out, make some reference points, and then make the other side exactly the same. Okay, so you see where I put that tape? The tape on the decal and the tape on the tank will match up when I put it back on, and it will be exactly where it's at if the tape lines match. So I'm peeling the backing off this decal. It has a backing on the tacky side, and it also has a cover on the front, you know, and then I'll take that off after I get this decal applied. So I'm getting it wet, and now all I do is line all the tape marks up, and it will be identically the way it was. Now I've already got the other side marked too and cut out, and I can do that too. I'm just showing this one side, but the other side just follows the same procedure. So once all the tape lines match up, we know it's where it should be. Now I'm going to use a squeegee, and I'm going to squeegee all that water out. You know, you use water because you can take it off and readjust a little bit if you have to. If you don't use water, it's pretty difficult. If it goes on wrong, you know, you're probably going to rip the decal trying to get it off. So I start from the center of this decal, just like window tinting. You want to start in the center and work out, because if you get the outside edges sealed off real good and have a bubble in the center, it'll be really, really hard to squeeze it out past that where it's sealed at. So start in the center and work out, squeegeeing it. And make sure all the bubbles are out, because you don't want any bubbles. If there's a bubble there, that means there's probably water in there, or you know, it could be air, but make sure that's all squeegeed out. It's hard to tell 100% until we peel this front piece off. The protectant on the front of this decal, that's on there just to protect the decal, to keep it from getting scratched. And then you'll take that off, you know, before we'll spray the clear coat. But I do most of my squeegeeing with that on there. and then I can finish it off by squeegeeing anything that, if there's any bubbles or anything left over. But I got it squeegeed out. Now I can start removing all the reference points because it's on there. This is where it's going to be. So I can go ahead and remove all the tape, get it ready for clear coat. Of course, we'll need to wipe it down because I've been touching it, and get it ready for clear. And I'm going to scuff back over the whole tank one more time with the gray scuff pad, and I'll even scuff lightly over these vinyl decals, to make sure that it adheres properly to that. When I first heard of this, I was a little bit, wasn't sure if you should spray over these decals or not. But I actually worked for a company, a big oil company like Halliburton. It's actually BJ Services, but they had engineers, and all those decals on there, they had us clear coat over all that, and then, that it worked well. So painting those big trucks, that's where I learned how to do this. So I've got the front cover off, all the tape on this side. Going to go over it one more time with the squeegee to make sure any bubbles are removed before I get it ready for clear coat. And then I'll do the exact same thing to the other side. Just follow these same steps. I already have the tape over there, the reference points and all that. And then once that's done, scuff it up, wipe it down, and get it ready for clear coat again. Now I'm going to use a different clear coat this second time, a little bit slower drying. It does require a 10 to 15 minute flash in between coats. And I'll put the coats, the clears down in the description. But what I'm doing now, this is not a full coat of clear. This is what I'd call a tack coat. It's a very thin coat, and the reason I want to do that is because these decals, if you put the first coat of clear on too thick, it's going to catch on those lines of where the decal's at, and then you're going to you might have a run or kind of get a drip look where those decals are at, because those lines of the edge will kind of catch that clear. So once I've got that tack coat, I'll allow it to flash, and then I'm going to put 2 regular coats, and that's 50% overlap. This is a solvent, and I'll put 2 coats. And one thing I want you to notice is the inside there, so I don't have to go back and spray all of the underside and all that. It's already got clear coat, and you're never going to see that because it's going to be attached to the seat there. So what I did is just mask that off so that I didn't have to sand it, because if I clear coat it, I'd have had to sand all that, and that's kind of a hard area to sand. Okay, I've put the tack coat, I allowed that to flash. Now I'm coming back and putting another coat of clear. And again, you want to follow that same technique. I'm going to get the front and rear, and then I'm going to do the sides that you see the most when you're on the motorcycle, and those need to be nice, even, straight line passes. And I allowed that to flash off, and now I'm going to put another coat of clear on. Same process of getting the front and rear, and then nice, even coats. So this is a real fun project. I haven't done really a lot of motorcycles, and this is the first time I ever got a Harley tank from Harley. And like I said, I was expecting it to come like automotive panels, just be able to sand it, scuff it up, and get it ready for paint. But I mean, it had some waves, it had grinder marks, weld marks. I mean, it was just been made. It's a kind of wavy. I had to prime and block it a couple of times to get it perfectly straight. So yeah, it's a new experience for me. I have painted motorcycle tanks, but tanks is already painted, and they just want to change the color or do something different to it. It's the first time I've sprayed a new one, and I don't know if all the motorcycle makers are like that, or it's just Harley. Maybe some of them do come with E-coat on them and ready just to scuff and paint. I'm not sure. If you know, if you do a lot of motorcycles, let us know in the comments section. And with anything, always feel free to ask questions down in the comments. I'll try to get to them and answer your questions. So there's a picture of it after it's done. Looks really nice. After this picture, I did go ahead and cut and polish it, and just to make that line where the decal was just as smooth as possible where you couldn't feel it. Now I apologize, I did not get a lot of pictures. I got one right after it was sprayed in the booth, and then after it was put on the motorcycle. Not the best picture of the tank, In this picture, he's giving some rides on it. He's very proud of it. He loved the color and loved the way it turned out. And I thought it looked great too. It was a fun project to do. And if you do a lot of motorcycles, leave some comments down below. You know, like I said, I haven't done a whole lot of motorcycle tanks. It's kind of fun. As always, I really appreciate you watching these videos. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. If you like this video, be sure and give us a thumbs up, give us a like, and subscribe to this channel. Thanks for watching, take care, and we'll see you in the next video.